If you've been here for the past year, firstly, I want to thank you and let me know who you are below so I can actually personally thank you in the comments. And second, you would know that I had laid out some goals that I wanted to accomplish in a previous video for my kind of startup video career. The question now is, did I actually accomplish what I wanted? Now, before we begin, this video is actually brought to you by a generous donation from Jeremy Stanton, who generously donated on the website linked below to help me keep making these videos so they can keep staying free to you. So I just wanted to make a little shout out to Jeremy. So thank you, Jeremy. Anyways, I'll link the goals video in a card above, so if you want to watch that, go for it, but otherwise I'll just lay them all out here. So here's what I was hoping would happen in 2019. So my first goal was to second shoot 5 weddings, and I not only achieved this goal, but shot over double that for a grand total of actually 11 weddings with a company called David and Sarah. I'm definitely going to share second shooter tips in a separate video in the future, so make sure to stay tuned for that as well. I definitely accomplished more than I wanted there. So my second goal was to solo shoot 5 weddings, and this did not happen. My original thought was that networking through family and friends and church would land me weddings for 2019, but I think I actually overestimated that a little bit. Most weddings are from referrals, either by the couple that you've previously done a wedding for or otherwise, so not having a wedding in my state made it a bit difficult to network. And the wedding in my portfolio is pretty low budget anyways. Of course, when people who don't understand video, they typically think of wedding videography as that annoying guy, like the annoying dad with the camcorder getting in the way of everyone, like Bob in Stranger Things. So breaking that perception is a bit difficult. So personally, another reason it was difficult to be associated with video myself is that I'm kind of a confusing person vocationally. Previously, I had started a landscaping company. I worked in a feed mill, a property management company for like 2 months, a restaurant, and currently a nonprofit, all in the last few years of living in Virginia. So for a while, my spheres of influence kind of associated me with doing all these kind of jobs, and they didn't really know how to, peg me as a person. So my personal brand among friends was a little confusing. Now, at the beginning of 2019, most people associate me with doing some form of video, even if they don't understand exactly what I do. And I think that just comes from focusing on making videos and sharing them over the course of a year. So yes, it accomplished the goal of having some form of portfolio, but it's definitely not at the level I believe I can deliver shooting a higher budget wedding. Getting that initial film was a really great first step in this career for me. Alrighty, so next up are business films. This is where it got kind of interesting. As you may know, I had talked with a tattoo shop over actually a year ago. I think it was like last November I got this tattoo on my arm, and they had asked me if I'd be willing to shoot a short promo, and then we could branch out into other content after that. And at the very tail end of 2019, like 2 weeks before Christmas, we did a 39-second promotional film that received, it was like over 20,000 views on their business Facebook page. So that's super exciting to see a video working to help a business either reach more people or make money. I'll be sharing that film in the next month or 2 as well, so be on the lookout for that, and I'll try to share how I made it and the gear that went into it too. As I also mentioned in my previous goal video, I mentioned church promos as well. So I did do a church promo earlier this year for our April outreach at my church, which turned out pretty well. There are quite a few things that I would do differently now, but all in all, it turned out pretty well. And more importantly, the church actually liked it. So business-wise, I would say that having those 2 films made and seeing them used successfully to help those clients is a pretty big win for 2019. Even if it was only 2, it kind of proved to me that the concept of making high-quality videos for businesses or organizations, that it actually works. So one other topic was focus, and this is a little elusive even now to me. I intended to focus on weddings and use business films as a kind of a side gig. In one way, that turned out to be the case. Second shooting turned out to be the biggest part of my 2019, along with YouTube. So my focus in weddings turned out to reflect what actually happened. But for the future, I think I'll be pursuing both and see what life looks like in the next few years, even if that's really not the wisest business advice in the world. Lastly, YouTube. My goal was to upload 50 videos, and I actually uploaded 53, and I gained 2,000 subscribers in the process, so that was a really nice bonus to see people actually connecting with my content in a small way, and I've been able to help people from literally all over the world learn how to use their cameras better. So 2019 was mostly wins with some goals left unfinished, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't actually successful. I think that we moved the needle forward substantially in my video business, and to me, that's really all that matters. With all that said, what am I hoping for in 2020? No actual goals for this year. I'm finding that at these early stages, it's too unpredictable to make hard and fast goals. So I think I'll lay out some general guidelines and focuses and go from there. So my first focus will be to make a streamlined relational client experience. And this does not come naturally to me. So putting things in place so that every single client brought through either wedding or business workflows, that it's a personal and very clear experience, for lack of a better term. Essentially, I don't want to get in the way of being referred, and this would mean meaningful email engagement, phone calls, customer proposals, in-person meetings, etc. So I think I can deliver really good films for people, but I want to make sure that all the back-end stuff is extremely high quality and reflects the films that I'm making as well. So secondly, I would like to have a portfolio that I love and that reflects the brand I'm trying to build. Roughly speaking, I've narrowed my Reminiscent Films brand to meaningful weddings, meaning less hype stuff and more depth, I suppose, if that's a thing, and small business films for owners who love what they do. Essentially, people who want meaningful human emotion in their videos, and I just want to reflect that in my portfolio so that hopefully it'll appeal to new and current clients who are looking for the same thing. Thirdly, I do want to reach 5,000 subscribers. I don't have an upload goal because some months are going to be crazy, but reaching 5,000 could be a really cool thing if I keep making quality content. According to Social Blade, it probably isn't going to happen this year, but here's hoping. Also, I'd like YouTube to bring between $100 and $200 a month of income to help supplement my family, as well as we move forward in our own personal lives. And so I kept ads off in 2019, but that extra $40 to $50 a month could equal me purchasing new gear for the channel, having turned them on in 2020. So I'd rather not leave money on the table if at all possible. Lastly, I want to have a specific month in 2021 that I set on my calendar that I absolutely know, as well as I can, that I can go full-time into filmmaking. This means looking at our personal budget as a family, figuring out what we need to make, and shooting for that income number. And whenever that number is reached and could conceivably be continued, then I can make the jump into full-time filmmaking, which would be so awesome. I don't know how 2020 will unfold, but I know it'll be really difficult, but also really rewarding. Want to follow along?